Hi, and welcome to my channel. I'm Rachel, the plant-based vegan chef, and today I was going to do my version of the River Cafe's aubergines and tomato sauce, so I hope you like it. Aubergines are brilliant. They go nice and creamy when they're cooked to the texture. They have a great flavour. You just take the green top off and cut it into slices. See how lovely and white it is in the middle. And these need to be cut in about 1 centimetre dice or smaller. Basically, as long as they're all the same size, they'll cook evenly. This is a side dish from the River Cafe, or I mean, you can use it on pasta as well. I would use it on pasta. And then, because what happens is these are going to be deep fried, I'm going to sprinkle them with some salt, and that will draw out any moisture, or some of the moisture, which is in these aubergines, and that makes them crispier and creamier when you come round to deep frying them. So, now it seems a lot of salt, but you do rinse it off, so there's no problem there. Just let that drain. I like to use the calamari olives and some sun-dried tomatoes, and a tin of tomatoes and tomato puree. So this is my version of the River Cafe. It's not the exact recipe at all. That's the great thing about recipes. You can adapt them to your taste and style, or just what you're in the mood for that day. You don't need to be a slave to a recipe. The recipe is a slave to you, or just a guide. So I'm going to be doing some peeling and chopping. You just relax and watch. I'm now going to slice up some olives. I'm doing this for 2 people, so I've just got one big aubergine. I love these olives, so I'm going to use a handful. And I'm just going to slice them up. They smell really good. So is that lovely? I love these as well. So 1, 2, 3, 4 of these. Super stuff. And then I'm going to use some of the oil to fry it all in as well. So a dribble of oil in the pan, because this contains some lovely flavourings of capers, spices, garlic, white wine vinegar, and so all that will go into the rest of the flavours. For me is the smell of Italian cooking. Fabulous. And then all this gets cooked in the fryer. I like to cook in a cast iron pan. Nice and heavy, just feels like something's real in it. Food's always tasty. I've just remembered I've got some capers in the fridge, so I'm going to add a few of these as well. These are delicious. The fragrance of these is superb. They come pickled, but the vinegar normally steams off. A few of those just to fry up. Oh yeah, now we're talking. This smells amazing now. Just let that cook. So the garlic has started to colour slightly, and the smells are lovely, and it's all cooking lovely and slowly. It's all beginning to melt into each other. This is lovely. So I'm going to add some tomato puree. I like tomato puree. I think it gives a richness to everything. It also thickens sauces. So that was about 2 tablespoons. You can always add more when you're cooking. If you're not sure, then just add a small bit, and then as things start to cook, you can always add more, which is the best way to learn how to cook. I find frying off the tomato puree gives an extra depth of flavour again. And then a tin of chopped tomatoes, straight in. Oh, fries! Okay, so these aren't chopped tomatoes. These are meant to be peeled tomatoes. The first thing you see is a ton of skin. It's easy. Just crush them with a spoon. This is meant to cook down to a nice, thick, glossy sauce. You then put your deep fried aubergines in. And a good shake of oregano. Or basil, you can use fresh basil or marjoram. And we'll let that do its thing. So here's the aubergines that have been in the salt. You can see how wet they are. That's because, as I said, they would draw off the moisture from out of the middle of the aubergines. So quick rinse and then we'll get on with these. So now the aubergines need to be dry before we deep fry them. So just get a tea towel. Put your aubergines in the tea towel. Spread them all out. And then wrap them up and dry them off. Perfect. If you're dry, boom. When you're deep frying, you also need to make sure that you've got implements to get the hot vegetables out and somewhere to put them so that it can just wait until your sauce is ready. So you want about 1/4 inch of oil in the bottom of your pan, olive oil. I'm using Tesco's olive oil because that's the one I've got at the moment. And how to test if oil is hot. If you hold your hand over the top, you can feel the heat coming from it, and then just take a piece of aubergine and drop it in. If it doesn't fry straight away, it's not hot enough. If you put vegetables into cold oil, all they'll do is soak the oil up. Right. So as you can see, that heated up straight away. So now you just want enough aubergines just to cover the bottom of the oil. You don't want too many in, because the idea is these are meant to be browned on all sides. So I'm looking for a tinge of brown on these. It's a nice golden colour. Oh, listen to that noise, the magic frying noise. I'm going to put a sieve in my pot so that the oil will actually drain from the aubergines. See, as you can see, these have started to go brown. They're looking lovely, so we now need to take them out of the oil. Oh yes, and here they've got slightly crispy as well. And then you fry the rest of them, batch 2. Now you may find the second batch of aubergines and subsequent batches will brown a bit quicker because the oil has been used and the oil seems to, fresh oil doesn't go brown very quickly. So I don't know if you've ever gone to a chip shop and had white chips, that's because they've just recently changed the oil. Well, oil that has been used goes browner quicker. Okay, they're looking nice and brown now. Okay, so that's all the aubergines fried and the tomato sauce is lovely and thick. Overall it takes about sort of 20 minutes or so, 5 minutes a batch, and then the sauce cooks down as well. And if you can hear that, lovely. Then you add the aubergines to the sauce and stir them in. Now, unfortunately, I've never eaten at River Cafe, so I have nothing to compare this to. They might, I've just followed what it says in their book, roughly. But as far as I can make out, that I think this is possibly how this dish should cook, or look, or be. I'm sure somebody will shout and tell me if it's meant to be different, but I think that looks like a proper Italian dish. Give that a try, shall we? It smells amazing. Okay, hot. Oh wow, that is amazing. That is, the aubergines are creamy and lovely. There's a hint of the olive oil working through it without it all being mixed together. And then that sauce, or the layers of flavour that I put in the sauce, all go down in a beautiful way. Very good. Another 10 out of 10 for me. Thanks so much for watching, and hopefully I'll see you in my next video. Lots of love. Bye.